Hello everyone, welcome back to Xenogears. I'm Dan.
And I'm Austin.
And we are here to play games.
Badly.
Badly indeed, and in a vertical direction as we continue to ascend Babel Tower. Last time we mainly just began the ascent of Babel Tower after dealing with, yet another one of Graf's powered up machinations in the form of Bishop Stone / Stein. And had some...
AKA Red Skull.
Yeah, Red Skull. Totally not evil murder man.
Right.
And we heard nice speech by Jesse and got a little fake out death from him, so that was fun times.
He turned into such a big gun.
Yeah. Such a powerful... We had to destroy the shield of hatred around the enemy gear. So
yeah, that
was fun.
That's a lingering question that will have to be answered later.
It's like, what? What do you mean there was hatred around the gear? Yeah. It's
because we've actually talked about fear and stuff before having an effect.
Oh,
when Sight and Sigurd were talking about Yang, and Sigurd observed that she had some sort of fear in her, and that was a cause for concern.
Yes. Yeah. That was, yeah, there's like an anxiety that surrounds Miang. Sigurd seems to have an intuitive, kind of an empath type thing going on, where he can do a bit of sensing of other people.
Yeah, and maybe that is
interesting.
all it is, but the way it was presented felt like there was something more to it than just, oh, she's dealing with some type of emotion.
Right. Well, it was
thing, like...
Yeah, it was making everyone uneasy. Particularly Sigurd. He was uneasy about it.
Right.
I guess I'll go up there.
Just seemed like an implication that her having these specific emotions was not a good thing.
Right.
Like, not even just like not a normal thing, but like not a good thing.
Like, this is a problem type of thing, yeah.
Right.
Indeed.
And I suspect it's in the same vein as Stein having all this hatred to develop this etheric shielding.
Yeah, that sounds right. It's almost like it's like if you have a certain kind of power, your emotions can physically manifest.
That's what it feels like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I find that interesting that ether can be manipulated in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of begs the question, is this something that everybody can do, or is it just specific tiers of people? Like
Elements or, ether users.
Right, so like Ellie,
Mm-hmm.
she's got the capability to be, or is, part of like the elemental or elements.
Yeah,
For
she's
Solaris, because she has such a high tier control and access to just such a deep reserve of ether.
right. Yeah, she's been termed as being from the element class, which means
Right.
which I always took, especially when I was first playing this game, as she has power that's equivalent to an element, even if maybe she doesn't have the title.
Right.
Okay, here we go.
So, if that's the case, is it people who have that tier of access to ether? Like, is it only them whose emotions can control ether that way, or is this something a little more intrinsic? I'm sure there's varying degrees of levels of strength and stuff too. But...
Right. And if it were only the elements, then whatever was going on with Stone / Stein would not have been happening, since he's not an element as far as we know. Although,
I'm not talking about it being... Sorry,
it's okay.
Just to be clear, I'm not talking about it being elements only, but someone who has that same capacity as an element.
Yeah, so like a level of power, because he's got whatever Graf is granting running through him and his gear, and he's... I believe he was stating he was, like, interfaced with the gear in some way. I don't remember exactly how he put it, but it was implied at least that he has kind of a physical interface with the gear at that point, and that's why he looked the way he did.
Right, because we knew that Quillian did something to him as well, which gave him
he
more
upgraded
power.
him. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe he's able to interface a different way with gears.
Right. Okay.
Kind of merging of the minds, so to speak.
Right. And yeah, just what I'm doing right here. This platform, when you jump on it, you probably noticed I got a battle immediately. You have to fight a battle to activate this elevator. So that is what I did, and now we are going up here because I failed to jump off at the apex before. But yeah, there's a bunch of those in this section, so we'll have to go through and kind of activate elevators as we go here.
Yeah.
As we're doing this, I did have a couple of things I wanted to mention as well here before we get to the top. So I do want to give a shout out to TJ the Emperor for his part 3 of the Xenogears reference guide series. I went ahead and went through that. There's some stuff in there that I'd say it's not exactly spoilery, but it is a little bit further than where we are as far as like the conceptual explanations of it. So, you know, beware if you're using this series to go through the game. You may want to have it be kind of a retrospective type thing. We'll probably do a retrospective, but regardless, there were several things in there that were pointed out that I do not believe I have mentioned yet, so I'm going to do that now. The most interesting one to me, and I can't believe I forgot this, is several of the gears are references to constellations or zodiac signs. So we're looking at one right now, Vierge, which is a French for virgin. It's a reference to Virgo, the maiden. We have also dealt with Steer, which is Taurus, the bull. And there is also Renmazuo, which is Chinese for Sagittarius, and that would be the archer, the centaur. There's actually 4 that are references to constellations. We have not seen the 4th one yet.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and it's particularly cool, in my opinion, because Veltal, the first gear we've seen, it translates to outer space or cosmos, which could imply it's kind of above or more comprehensive, just on like a conceptual level, than other gears. It's been called several things: the vessel for the spirit of the Slayer of God, things like that. So clearly a special gear. And having a couple of the others be zodiac signs. Obviously, not all of them are. Like Heimdall is, the reference to the Norse god. Brigandir is completely different. So, not all of them are references to zodiac signs, but several of them are, and that's very interesting.
Yeah, it is. Very cool.
Yeah. Okay. Let me make sure I know where I'm going here. Okay, yeah. So we get to the next traffic jam elevator. The other thing I did want to mention is there was a point, I believe we were talking about the Ministry's conversation. I believe this was back in Nortune, where they used the word Nigret. Knigret. Nigret.
Yes, because we were like, I was hesitant to read the word to begin with.
Right, it's really weird. It's unclear how it's supposed to be pronounced. It's like, what are they doing here? What is this? So this was the point in the reference guide, was that it was a mistranslation, and I agree based on the data we have. On this, it's basically a localization problem. It should have been neglect. So, in the context of that sentence, they were talking about, I believe they were talking about Ramses, and they were talking about neglect as a concept, which is very funny because Nigret has a capital K at the beginning, so it looks like it's a proper noun? Like, are they referring to another one of them? Like, is one of their names Negret? Like, what is this? It's weird.
Or some type of personification thereof. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that feels like that would be a lot more sense contextually.
Right. Yeah, it makes that sentence make a whole lot more sense. So I did want to make sure to clear that up. There's another word they use, sufradi, which, I will cover that one later. It's a little confusing, but that one is not a localization error. That word is meant to be there. So we will definitely cover that word, though, at a certain point. I will make sure to do it. I actually know exactly where that is. So for now, that word will remain a mystery. But they are using it in kind of the same vein as like the M project, things like that,
Yeah.
All sorts of terms that we don't exactly know all about yet, because we're kind of with, Faye in the party, like, what's happening kind of thing.
Right. I find what we're exploring here very interesting. I've been thinking about it for a while. I just didn't want to interrupt our conversation.
Sure.
Like, it's super obvious right here that we're looking at roads in a vertical versus horizontal setup.
Sure, yeah.
Right. It's like the back wall is clearly like a pathway, and at least a walking path, if not an actual road path.
Mm-hmm.
And then that bridge underneath is definitely roads as well.
Oh no, I fell off. Anyway.
Which, and given the size of the gears, really makes the implication stronger that these are buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Which, this ship, was it like a colony ship?
That's a great question. It certainly seems to be massive.
Right, like enormous even.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like this is the kind of like ships that you'd expect to see when you're transporting.
Yeah, those roads right there.
Yeah,
divot there.
Exactly right. A large exodus of people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether that's to colonize something or because it's extinction ships, I guess is how they've been called before.
Oh, so, right. Yep. Well, and furthermore, we're talking about the intro at this point. What was whatever was on board the ship doing there, if it was like an Exodus ship or a colony ship, right?
Right.
Like, what was happening there?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions to be had, because it was a huge ship.
Absolutely.
And it implied that there was a lot of people on board. Now, it looked, again, this may not be a colony. It could be something like a base. It could be all military, right?
Maybe military and their families.
Yeah, or like, science research in division. Like, they could be multi-branches that are being all taken advantage of for this 70-year long venture, or whatever the length of time was, but clearly designed to be a living space.
Mm-hmm.
And I just find it fascinating, because this place is clearly enormous.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is gigantic.
It kind of makes you think of the Phantasy Star
Pioneer
Online.
2.
Yeah, Pioneer 2.
Mm-hmm.
The ships, again, huge. And if for those who are more familiar with the newer stuff like New Genesis and PSO2,
mm-hmm.
right? Like, it's the same concept. It's giant ship where citizens are living.
Right.
And they're looking for like another planet to live on.
Yeah, in the original intro to Phantasy Star, Pioneer 1 arrived and settled on Rogol, the planet Rogol, and then 2 was bringing the main wave of settlers, and of course there was problems, right? When they entered orbit, they established communication, and there was a huge explosion. You have to investigate that. That's the plot, basically, of Phantasy Star Online. So yeah, if this ship is in any way similar, then it could be like there's a huge group of people, or was a huge group of people with it, that sort of thing.
Right.
Which gives a lot of gravity to the fact that we know if this is that ship, which it seems to be, it got freaking self-destructed, like...
Right. Because of some other issue that was happening at the time that wasn't entirely clear.
Right, exact. And he tried to evacuate the ship, and then all the evacuation pods were getting shot down by these odd circular modules, which, I don't know, I wasn't sure whether to bring this up, but we were able to move a piece of Babel Tower around a little bit by pressing a button. And that should look very familiar if you go back to the intro and you look at those circular modules. I don't think it's exactly the same thing, but it's a similar design element. Because there are these circular modules that came up and just started firing lasers everywhere, because basically the ship was taken over. Oh my god. The ship was taken over, and everyone was getting blasted. I'm talking about catastrophe as I have a catastrophic platforming moment. This is Babel Tower, everyone.
Because we all play this game for the super precise jumping mechanics.
Yeah. This section has been the source of a lot of frustration, just due to the platforming. I generally try to regard it as a contemplative... Wow, that was really weird. The contemplative part that doesn't at all annoy me.
Well, it's been good fodder for review,
yeah,
to say the least.
No, absolutely, yeah. We got to talk about some interesting stuff last time, and now as I'm continuing to fail at platforming, we get to talk about more interesting stuff. So,
yeah, that or just be like, all right, you know what, focus time.
Yeah,
but we're not there yet.
That's all right.
So
they know what channel they're watching.
That's true. Well, we did also say it at the beginning of this episode. We forgot our get good potions, I guess.
Yeah, I ran out of those. Got to get more. Get good elixirs.
Oh man, does it actually exist? I was just making a joke.
They totally exist.
Oh no.
They come in various proofs. Oh no.
Yeah.
Curses. Freaking my jumping putt. Ah. Rage.
Okay, well, so since we're fighting with jumps, we did talk about a little bit about Groff showing up and the negative emotions and stuff, which was all part of like my first couple of notes.
Right.
So I'm gonna just keep moving down the list here. Just kind of talking about Stein for a second. I find it interesting that Stein had such a hatred for Josiah, right? For Jesse.
Yeah.
Because, like, we don't know their history, but the way Stein speaks, especially about Raquel and consequently Billy, right?
Yeah. How Raquel was, did he say tainted?
Yeah, defiled, I believe was actually the word he used.
Okay, yeah.
That Josiah had defiled her in some way, and so he wanted to bring her salvation. His actual words were, "Through Corellian's wisdom, using the wells, I saved Raquel from misery."
Right.
And like that's
pretty loaded, isn't it?
Yeah, red flags everywhere, my guy.
Yup.
She wasn't yours to begin with, and then to make those assumptions and like, I just, that is part of his source of hatred that created the bubble. So I find it fascinating, like where that comes from.
Yeah,
I'd be curious to know what that story is, right? Where she quote unquote chose him over Stein.
Yeah.
Even though I'm sure there really wasn't any competition there to begin with.
Right. It comes off as like, she was mine. Like, she did not. Like, this was not on the radar. What are you talking about? Like, bro, kind of thing, you know? Right.
And from what we've seen of her, at least from Billy's perspective, is that she always cared for Jesse.
Yes.
Even after he left. So it's kind of some dissonance there.
Slight non sequitur. The writer of this fac has my exact sense of humor. Further south is the third lift, which goes up to the final boss in the game. Not. So, yeah, time to fight the final boss, everyone. Oh no.
Nice.
Anyway, yeah. So furthermore, with Josiah as well, we know some things. We know that he's acquainted with Huga or Seitan and Sigurd. and they were doing a little bit of catch-up, which, I don't know about you, but when I first played this game, I was just like, oh, cool, we'll get, like, backstory, and then they kind of didn't do a lot in that catch-up section. It was just kind of, they were laughing and drinking for a minute.
Right.
We got a little bit, but not very much.
Or Siggy.
Yeah, Sigurd passed out, yeah. His attack is wild looking.
Whoa.
Big explodies.
Ooh. that was not light damage either.
It was not, no.
Wow. Again, who's piloting these? Are they just rogue gears?
It's a good question. They seem to just not... They either don't have a pilot or they don't have a pilot that's relevant to anything.
Right.
They're just kind of there or something.
Yeah, I would just be curious what the explanation is there, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's certainly curious. It's a little easier to deal with the idea of, like, a, for lack of a better term, a mook pilot or something, when it's like the weird fused, like, creature, the mayfly, you know? Where it's like, oh, this is a gear that's merged with something, but these look like they're just regular gears, so what are they affiliated with? You know, who is piloting these? Are they automated type things?
Right.
Yeah, that's harsh. Oh, wow. That ether attack on everyone also hits themselves, so he just killed himself. So, that's cool. I'll take it.
Save that work for me.
Yep. Oh,
Yeah.
right. Let me take a look at this. I believe was it Satan? No, it was Faye. Radians explode with space key.
Space G?
Yeah.
Praise!
Space. Maybe we'll throw that one and take a look at it. And that could be fun.
Yeah.
There we go.
But speaking of Krellian, we do get confirmation that he has been the one creating the wells and the Reapers.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we had before we encountered Stein specifically.
Right.
Or maybe we did, but it wasn't much of one.
Yeah, it's made explicit at the very least, right?
Right, especially after we see Stein's new face.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, Krellian very clearly has some odd capabilities to, like, mess with life, mess with biology, things like that. Because he can create wells, he can give people weird power. All right, let's give this a try. Let's explode with space chi here.
Well, at least it looks cool.
Supernova!
That's not bad, actually. That's good damage.
Yeah, not too bad.
Traffic jam.
That may be the only time I ever use it, but it's not bad. Not a bad attack.
Yeah.
Faye's more of a physical attacker. At least he always has been in my mind. So
Yeah. I'd be curious to... I think you mentioned this maybe already, but I'd be curious to know what the sign says there. With that kanji.
Oh, yeah. On the traffic jams.
Yeah.
You know, that's a really good question. I'm not sure. I think it might say something like it might be like a stop sign. This is weird looking, but it's literally just a drop down to a chest. So.
Oh, weird. Yeah. If you happen to know what it says, drop a note in the comments.
Yeah, we could probably check it here in a second when we have a little downtime. Oh, hey. So, yeah, these are all like ice, thunder, and stone. Flare Rod has +5 attack power, so I'm just going to use the Flare Rod.
This has been the first like non-elemental specific rod we've gotten.
No.
Right?
It's fire.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so
okay, but I thought hot was fire.
No, Hot Rod G is... It's not the first rod that Virge starts with, but I sold the first one because it's just the starting one or whatever, and there's no real need to keep it. But the Hot Rod G is like a non-elemental, and then Ice, Stone, Thunder, and Flare are all elemental.
Okay.
And Flare Rod G just has like 5 more attack power than the other 3.
Okay. I misunderstood there.
Yep,
okay.
No worries. All right. We are getting very close. Let's see here.
Yep.
Yeah, I do not want to take a spill down to the lower levels. Let me try to avoid that here.
That would be a good idea. We also have Josiah at least attempting to teach Billy as they're facing off against Stone.
Right. Yeah,
and he
clearly cares about his son, right?
Yeah. I don't think that was ever in question, at least from my perspective. But just, he has this very long, encouraging monologue to Billy because Billy is struggling with this internal faith issue, right? Because everything he knew has been turned upside down on its head,
right?
And that's tough enough as it is. But then when you include like a rigorous faith like that, it's so much harder.
Oh yeah,
to like compensate from that.
He's in the process of deconstructing, and that can be very painful.
Yeah, for sure.
Whether you end up on a complete loss of faith, or your faith is recontextualized into what you think is true that is different than what you think is true before. Which
right.
If you're doing it in good faith, forgive the term. Then that's the goal. Is you're trying to aim at what's true,
right?
And I think people don't necessarily always do that, and they certainly don't always do it accurately. But that's the goal, right, of deconstruction.
Right. Sure, and I think it's healthy for anybody, regardless of your belief, to periodically re-examine those beliefs, right, about anything, not necessarily just religious views, but just our views as people.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, beliefs, at least this is my view, and we don't have to make it a huge thing, but like when it comes to beliefs, beliefs can be different than faith, right? Faith-based views are a different thing than a belief, but they're both beliefs of sorts.
Right.
And it's referring to, well, this is what I believe about this sort of thing. So.
Right. Yeah, and there are things that are based in fact and things that, like, demonstrably based in fact versus things that are a little bit more nebulous. But when even societally speaking,
right,
when we talk about, I mean, any certain terminologies, or we were just talking about this, I think, earlier today or the other day when we were talking about how when there were terms or phrases that just forever be at the bottom of this thing.
I was like walking for a second. I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's screen. Oh, wait, I'm at the bottom. Okay. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so
we got time.
I mean, there's just evidence through our history, right, where we have decided, or as a society collectively decided, that certain words are no longer acceptable for insert whatever reason.
Oh, sure.
And right. And there's an element of doing that on a personal level too. Right. So I mean, it's more common in faith, especially with the deconstruction, but I do think re-examining ourselves regularly is good.
Yeah.
To help us keep ourselves aware, right, of our own processes. Maybe we've developed boundaries or become more aware of what we didn't think as problems before, and now that we're aware of them, we can adjust our actions to match our core.
Yeah,
or whatever,
or even just vigilance, right?
Right.
Like, let me look out for. I don't have a perfect grasp on truth, so let me just, as I encounter it, adjust, and make things right if I create problems. That's sort of, I mean, you can see some of that with Faye's journey as well, right? Like, he's very self-pitying and very depressed and upset, justifiably so, but you can't stay there and expect anything good to come of it. You can't just be wallowing. And eventually, he's kind of snapped out of it a little bit, but, he chooses to accept the call, after he feels that moment where, these idiots, these Solaris, what's the word I'm looking? Thugs, I guess? I don't know. Anyway, the bad guys are trying to, they're just going to kill this group of children. And he's like, all right, I may not have everything figured out, but I'm not going to allow this. So, yeah, I choose to cooperate and fight for the greater good, that sort of
Right,
thing.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So he's re-examining his own beliefs, and Billy's is very much a journey of he has religious beliefs that have been called into question, and so
Right.
it's where is he going to land?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see where he goes with that, because he is such a so much stricter in the faith aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious to see where he falls with his deconstruction.
Right. How might a figure like Margie, for example, from the Nissan religion, relate to that sort of thing? Might he find refuge in a different faith, which I think, some people do deconstruct. They end up converting to a different faith.
Yeah.
Some convert to no faith.
Yeah. It's a huge spectrum.
Yeah.
And you and I have both gone through our own deconstruction journeys and have ended in very different places.
Yeah.
So, it's how it is.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But circling back to the whole monologue,
right
after that tangent,
we got time for tangents.
We keep jumping off the side of the buildings. Yeah, we absolutely do.
Doing it on purpose, totally on purpose.
Right. People will be watching this like, did they just spend an hour and a half trying to get to the top of this building? Why, yes, we did.
People that have played it before are like, yeah, of course they did. It's Babel Tower.
Fair enough. But I kind of TLDR'd it in my notes here because he said a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But because Billy was also learning that Reapers and Wells were people that were converted. Right. So Jesse's like, essentially paraphrasing here, like, yeah, Reapers may be people, but you were saving them from a life of pain and misery by ending their existence.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm assuming they're in physical pain constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a drive to, I think, to consume human blood, which is why they keep finding themselves around people.
Right. They instinctively, they need human blood.
Right. It's the only way to lessen that pain.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, you were saving others by, killing the Reapers, but you were saving these Reapers as well because of that issue.
Yeah, I mean,
and he was like,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's really cool because he's really like what you get from their relationship is adversarial, and Billy is very clearly not okay with his father, but his father loves him. He's like, look, you don't have to suffer like this. This is what I believe about this, and it can help you, and it's based in what we know about these creatures. So it's both true, and he is also kind of relieving the guilt of his son. It's important to him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's right on point.
Yeah.
And kind of like kind of concluding it with like, in the end, your convictions are what let you accomplish this goal, right? Like, it wasn't anybody else. It was you and your skills and your convictions that allowed you to do this thing.
Right.
And then he says something along the lines of God exists within you, which I find fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
The way I perceive that is Jesse is saying, this thing that you've been putting your faith in isn't an external entity. It's something intrinsic to who you are as a person.
Right.
And it's not, it's not constructed. You've just been using this constructed entity or being or nebulous God,
right,
as like your focal point.
Mm-hmm.
But who you are at your core, that's really what you've been following.
Right. Yeah, it's
so
his conscience, his sense of empathy and justice. Right.
Right.
Yeah, I like that that monologue. It's very interesting because it strikes true as something that perhaps Jesse has concluded, with his grappling with faith. This is what it is. When you have this experience of, a religious experience, a faith experience, spiritual. God is within you. You are having your own. It's your personal spiritual experience, that sort of thing,
right.
And it doesn't make it any less valid.
Right. Well, and it makes it even more interesting, especially because later we learn that Jesse does have a more atheistic viewpoint.
Mm-hmm.
That because Titan points it out, he's like, I found it strange that you'd see, Stein in hell because you don't believe any of that.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's very much a journey, I think, is how I perceive. So perhaps, and I don't actually 100% remember this, but perhaps there was to put it in our parlance, an angry atheist phase for what Jesse was going through, and now, he may still orient that way, but he has other things to say, that sort of thing, because,
right.
God's a powerful word, right? It can mean a lot of different things, depending on who is saying it and what they actually mean.
Sure.
And even in the context of this game, God has been used in multiple ways.
It has. Mm-hmm. And applied to multiple things, too. So,
yep.
We do have this religious, nebulous, other being referred to as God, as far as I know, at least in some degree. But then we also have, the Digimon referring to themselves as gods.
Right.
So, and everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mother God, by Groff, I'm pretty sure he's not talking about God himself, right? Or herself, Mother God.
Mm-hmm.
But rather this concept or this thing.
Right. Yeah. Something else than, Mother God, he's not referring to the Sol 9000, right? They're clearly referring to different things.
Right.
The power to destroy God, the spirit of the Slayer of God, all of this. There are so many references. And
yeah,
it begs the question because of how many there are and how they're used in different ways.
Right. Well, and this goes back to one of our earlier discussions near the beginning, where we talked about how the word kami, which is the Japanese word for God, is used so fluidly. Right.
Yep.
Because another word that's often used is yokai or demons.
Sure.
And those are all words that I have seen used almost interchangeably for these concepts.
Mm-hmm.
And so kami could be anything from just a powerful being to a creator god from Christianity's point of view, right? It really just depends on the context in which it's being used.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting if you talk about kami in a Japanese context, and demons even. It's very, very different than a Western context, which is very intriguing because this is a Japanese game. But there's clearly a lot of intrigue in not just Western religion, but kind of just world religions, right? That you can see in this. A lot of it is Western, though. You've got a lot of Roman Catholic influence in the ethos and what we've explored, and then Nissan seems like a liturgical general. Maybe you're more Eastern religions, or maybe just a more spiritualist version, right?
Right. Certainly just as orthodox, though, as whatever ethos is trying to pull.
Sure, yeah. Okay, let me see
in its own ways.
This way. Whew, leap of faith. All right.
You got faith of the heart.
That's the worst jump because it's off screen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the way I did that was I just ran off the edge there. So you get to the highest part and just run off the edge, let the momentum take you over to it.
And cry when you miss.
And cry when you miss, and then climb the entire tower again and rage and rage and rage and go on the internet and be like, Babel Tower is awful.
Right.
Normal
That's
things.
The true Xenogears experience.
Right. Get the full experience out of it. You got some of it with me raging about falling off over and over.
Yeah.
We are almost to the top, though, so that's exciting.
Sweet.
While
we're in our last stint here, then
yeah.
We brought up the Groff saying to kill Mother God, and I am wondering if that's related to Project M, right? Because we learned from Jesse that while he was in Solaris, he learned of something known as the Malak plan, Malakh, I believe.
Yes.
Or M. They just keep calling it Project M or the M plan.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing of note is that it's done under Krellian's command, which has all kinds of implications. It's certainly some type of research and development project, I believe. Because that seems to be his like wheelhouse.
That's correct. Yeah. It's very much a scientific enterprise, along with like there's given the nature of the wells and everything else that Krellian's involved with. It's pretty multi. What word am I aiming at here?
Multifaceted.
Yeah, multifaceted Like it seems like he's up to a lot of things, right?
Right. Well, and the wells are a direct result of whatever Project M is.
Looks like we can climb up. Let's climb.
Oh, I forgot I was supposed to be reading dialogue. I apologize.
Yeah, no worries. We're mid-conversation there, so.
Yeah. And whatever this project does, the creation of the wells, it's requiring a large number of lambs as well.
That's
right?
true.
And so through all of this, we learned that there's actually a scientist who was involved with this plan, who moved all the information about Project M into a test gear, and it was actually that was its name was test gear, so some type of prototype gear. And he sends this test gear and his daughter away to Shivat. As far as we know, she is in Shivat.
Right.
The daughter's name might be Maria. I don't remember exactly where we got that information.
Yeah, it was stated. I believe that was what Josiah heard. Her name was Maria.
Right, and the scientist's name might be Nikolai. So I'm wondering because Maria starts with an M. I am curious if the daughter in this test gear is a part of Project M. Right.
That's very interesting. Yeah.
And specifically, if she is maybe even the crux of whatever the plan is. Because, like, I don't understand why he would feel the need to send this information off and then, like, destroy any copies unless he was trying to kind of get away from the project because he didn't like where it was headed.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll learn more, but like
certainly very good questions about this. Yeah.
Right. And so I guess the ending question there is Mother God Maria or whoever this Project M is concerned?
There's a lot of M's.
There's some well, not to mention we noticed like the Digimen were highly involved with it too. So
true. Yeah,
like
they were referred to it several times.
Right, and I've got other notes on that. But first, what? No ceiling? I mean, it's a tower with the top. I mean, it seems that it's true. Shivat was here before. Look around. See the giant hole in the ground? Anyway, there are marks from some huge thing. Oh yeah, is there any comm equipment nearby? I don't see anything else, but... Hey, look up. Something's closing in. It's a gear.
It's a gear.
Gambler? From here is Shivat's territory.
Mystery Girl.
Project Dev Mystery Girl, got it. Many people have tried to get in, but Siebzen and I removed them.
I believe it is Siebzine. Siebzine is German for 17.
Okay. For your benefit, and it could still be Siebzine, but typically with German language, especially, whatever the first vowel is, that's the enunciated vowel.
So Siebzine.
Yeah, it could very well be Siebzine. If you want to stick with Siebzine, that's fine.
That's how I kind of pronounce it, but I would like to go with the correct pronunciation if possible. So let's do Siebzine.
All right, we'll do Siebzine, and then I'll Google it and find out that I'm wrong, and we'll correct it after that.
We'll double check it. Yeah, but yeah, it is German for 17.
Sweet. And I remove them.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. We just want to. No time for Tucky. Time for Pow Pow.
Get ready!
Ah, Seepson. That's what I see here.
Seepson it is. All right.
Which is interesting because in this one, I almost typed it in wrong.
Oh, man. Boom.
Yeah, so...
Pick her gear up and toss it around. Anyway, yes?
I think I was wrong. I think it is a second letter, here at least.
Mm-hmm.
Because Seepson, in the German, is actually spelled S-I-E.
Mm-hmm.
And we have S-E-I here.
Right.
So, for this one, it actually might be Seepson.
Seepson, okay.
Yep. Let us know in the comments. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, 17. Yeah, and it just picked up Vierge and freaking butt slammed it. So we're gonna respond in kind with violence.
Seepson. Anyway.
Seepson has 6,000 HP, so we'll be done here in a second. Oh wait, we're already done.
Man, that reminds me. Like, he one hit knocked out Ramses. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, we one-shotted Wyvern, and then we just one-shotted Seepson as well, so...
I think we're a little over-leveled. I mean, I know you're using an Ether Doubler and, Power Magic?
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
like,
it's all in
goes
that,
so far.
Yeah, so the levels don't do a huge amount. They do influence your Ether Power, though, which is why Ether Power is so strong, and it's why Air Odds is just freaking destroying everything right now. That will level off, but yeah, we are extremely... So this is why it's a good idea to buy an Ether Doubler if you can, because it's just so broken in cases of, like, Air Odds or Jesse Cannon.
Good gracious. That's enough, Maria.
Bring them in.
Yes, Queen Zephyr.
Queen Zephyr. And we have met Maria.
A gentle breeze.
Mm-hmm.
So is that the test gear, or is that a separate gear?
It's a very good question.
I assume it's the test gear.
Ah, Shevat. Been waiting for this. The refuge of the hermits. Can't remember. Does it? I think it fully docks here. It at least lowers the shield and lets us in. Yeah.
Right. Interesting.
Yes, indeed.
Aerial City, Shevat. You know, I don't think I gave Babel Tower enough credit how big it is. Like, I knew it was huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, monstrous.
It's enormous.
But, like, it just didn't register in my head the scope of that, because Shevat, again, is its own country.
Right.
Which means all the people who lived in those buildings in the ship, theoretically, could be living in this UFO.
Could be.
And even if not, like, there's clearly, like, space for buildings and stuff, which means this thing is colossal.
Yeah, it's gigantic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's a scale problem when you first see Shevat. It looks a lot smaller than it is. So it was flying low, but it wasn't that low.
Right. Because, like, of course there's a scale issue. We've had scale issues from day one.
Right.
But, yeah, just trying to wrap my head and imagine how big that actually is just a little mind-boggling.
We will get to investigate that.
We will. Sorry, just wanted to test your strength. All I tested was Elheim's beams of death.
Pretty much.
The Queen is awaiting for your arrival above.
Queen Zephyr of Shevat. Hello.
Oh, the Soul 9000. making a note here. All right.
Mhm.
Useless. They allowed contact with Shavat. Ramses sucks. There is an anima relic in Shavat.
Ooh.
We can't afford to have them aligned before preparations are completed. It's meaningless if it's not compatible with our type. You want to bury all of Shavat? What of the Animus? There are others. We must respond severely so this doesn't happen again. What about the Shavat gate? As long as it is there, we can't get in. Easy. We just use Oxen's gravity cannon to compensate for the time-space warp.
Oxen is German for 18.
Okay, so a gears.
Oxen is a gear. That's right.
Yeah, it's a gear's specific capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Oxen, is it operational? Re-education is complete. It is ready. The airborne squad is already assembled. Re-education?
What do you mean?
This is feeling a lot closer to Neon Genesis right now.
Little bit. Yeah, like what are they re-educating? Are they re-educating the gear? How does that work?
It's a weird way to say reprogramming if it's a gear issue.
Yep, certainly is.
Mm. Any side effects? It could be the pilot, I suppose, but still, like...
Yeah.
The regulated 71st Airborne should have no problems. Well, then I look forward to this.
Do you now, evil man?
Oh, yeah. God, they keep showing up, and every time they do, I have to take like 15,000 notes.
That one was relatively light, but yeah, usually they drop a bunch of things.
It's relatively light, sure, but it's going to end up making like 7 bullet points in my notes in post. This is the dock floor located at the lowest layer of Shavat. I met you a little while ago. My name is Maria Balthazar.
Maria Balthazar.
Like Old Man Bal?
Good.
Is Old Man Bal the scientist?
It's Faye's drawing that connection here, so let's see what she has to say about it.
Balthazar. I've heard that name before. That's right, Old Man Bal, the hermit. That reminds me, the gear I saw resembles Bal's gear, Calamity.
Mm-hmm.
Calamity? That's the prototype gear my grandfather made. Wait.
Connections!
I don't even remember Bal having a gear. Wow, that's...
Yeah, so his gear, he wasn't piloting it. It wasn't under his control, but that was the boss when we were under... with Bart. When we first ally with Bart, that was the boss we had to fight, and Faye had that rush of power and like destroyed it.
Oh, well, so much for that prototype gear.
Yep, Calamity is completely destroyed. But yeah, prototype gear her grandfather made,
which makes Old Man Balthazar her grandfather. Do you know my grandpa? Where is he now? I just happened to come across him in the cavern underneath Ov's desert. I didn't know him that well, so you're Old Man Bal's grandchild. Yes, but I haven't seen him for the past few years. He said he was looking for something very important. That's why he has all those skulls on his shelf.
Mm-hmm.
And he left by himself. My father was captured by Solaris, and his whereabouts are not known either. Oh, I'm sure Krelia knows where he is.
Yeah.
I'm glad Grandpa Bal's doing fine.
So, unexpected Old Man Bal lore coming out here.
Yeah, I wasn't sure I'd see anything from him again.
Mm-hmm.
Please, go ahead and take the elevator to the upstairs. To go upstairs. I still have to finish inspecting Sibson. Can you believes in? Anyway.
Yeah.
I'll show you the way to the palace when the time comes. Till then, please take a look around town. I'll see you later.
All right, and take a look around town we will.
Goodbye. All right, let's go up there. Shivat, the only organization that stands against Solaris. You're all right. We came this far. We cannot turn back now, Faye.
Yep, yep, yep. Okay.
I like the name Zephyr. I think it's a pretty name.
Yeah, yeah. I meant to look up that name meaning.
Well, Zephyr is like a gentle wind.
Yeah, there you go.
So.
Do you remember what language?
Ooh, that's a good question.
It's a cool name for sure.
Yeah, it's a breeze. So a gentle breeze or a breeze from the west specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Check out this map.
Oh, that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, the giant statue.
Yeah.
Wait, does that statue look a little bit like the one from the music box?
A little bit. Ding, 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 ding. Yep.
It was some kind of angel, yeah.
Yep. That is the entrance to the palace, which we're not going to go to yet. We are going to head to the old capital, FL Aura. So, FL Aura is an interesting term, and I want to take some time to go through it as this theme begins playing, which is one of my favorites on this soundtrack. So I'm going to break it down to a couple of words. And once again, shout out to TJ the Emperor for his reference guide. I have pulled this directly from his video, which he pulled from other sources, but still, he did it. Credit where credit's due. FL is probably the most interesting part of this. FL is a Hebrew word for gloomy or dark. It can also refer to aphelion. I believe I'm saying that right, aphelion, which is in orbital mechanics. It's the point of the Earth's orbit where it is the furthest from the sun.
Oh.
And aura, of course, is a spiritual or mystical emanation of some kind. So it's like a dark emanation is what FL aura technically sort of means. But I find it interesting that it's the point where it's furthest from the sun, given Shivat's opposition to Solaris.
Right, which is, by definition, the sun.
Yep.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So the Eiffel Aura is then the shielding that specifically surrounds?
No.
Or...
Mm-mm.
Okay.
FL Aura is the name of the capital of Shivat.
Oh, sorry. You said that and I probably just breezed through because I was looking at notes.
Yeah, we're in FL Aura right now. That's where we entered, the old capital.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and just while we're talking terms for a second, I did want to mention there is a 1970s Soviet science fiction drama film named Solaris. And I believe, yeah, there's a couple of references to it, but I think that was the reference that... so there's like multivalent references with a lot of things in this game. But that's a reference there. And then the character named Krelian is actually a different localization of Karelen from Childhood's End, which is another influence of this game. So another couple of things for you guys to chew on as we are exploring this game. More references to kind of deepen, like, hey, what exactly is going on? What do we get from these references? That sort of thing.
Yeah. For your information, the Zephyr word, it comes from either a Latin or Greek root.
Mm-hmm.
So in the Latin, there is Zephyrus, which is the god of the west wind. And it's same is true for the Greek, but it's Sephiros instead of Zephyrus or whatever. So,
Zephyros?
That's a different thing.
It is.
But yeah, it looks like it comes from either a Latin or Greek root, depending on how the spelling goes. But Zephyr specifically is the same.
Okay. Cool. I really like the design of this area. So in particular, we just entered a building, and we're going to go ahead and exit via this little hover elevator guy.
Yeah, okay.
And this is cool. I like that there's, like, trees and stuff growing. Like, you know, you look at a weird UFO, and it's like, oh, is there going to be... No, there's, like, nature and stuff kind of built into the architecture. And a doggo, which isn't barking. No, there we go.
Can you pet him?
I think I'm going to call this petting him.
Okay. You can interact with him, causing him to bark. That's close enough.
Bork, 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 bork. All right.
All right, and so in all capitals in my notes. What do you mean you re-educated a gear? What does that even mean?
Very good question.
Yep, I'll put more notes in later.
Oh, this is gonna be
choo-choo.
choo-choos.
Oh, that's a lot of choo-choos.
Yup.
Oh, I feel like I'm playing 8 again with all the little like lion dudes.
Yeah, the oh shoot, what are those? Moombas?
Moombas, yeah.
Yeah. You suddenly find a bunch of them, like, what's going on here?
Right. Oh, this is... If Choo-Choo saw this, she'd probably faint out of pure happiness. Choo-Choo and her friends may be the last survivors.
What?
There's an old man Choo-Choo up in the corner.
There is.
Oh, there's one right there, too.
Oh, yeah, okay. So we got a Choo-Choo shopkeeper.
I guess. It's been a while. Welcome. It'd be great if you bought lots and lots of them.
All right. We got a shop here where we can get consumables. Aquasol DX is a 500 HP restoration. Alpha Sol, restore HP to full. And then we got Rosa Sols and stuff. Sigma Sols, restore EP to full. Zeta Sols, obviously good to have. Fizzy Mentsol are a combination of Physisol, Mentsol, restores all status effects, so like a remedy. Which I'm actually going to grab some of these. And we've got the star items, which do various things. They're like temporary buff items. Let's see. Okay, yeah, then elemental, add an element to attacks. Omega Sols, which we still have 60 of, so I'm not going to worry about that. But yeah, stock up on your consumables here. I'm going to go ahead and sell... Yep, here's gold nuggets.
Gold nugget.
And a gold bullion, which is worth 4,000, so get a little bit of money. All right, let's keep poking around here.
Well, bully for you. Thank you, come again. I give you a discount next time.
Thanks.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
I like people in Shavat because they're all nice. They treat choo-choos the same as themselves. Yes, they do. But I heard people on the land are all scary. They lie, say awful things, hurt and kill each other. I am wrong, right? They are all nice people, right?
Not necessarily.
Yeah. Everyone's not necessarily kind and good. I see. I hope everyone understands each other and lives happily together someday. Yes, I do. You're awfully straightforward. I like it. I'll give you this.
Aquasol
Received. Nice.
Aquasol.
Thanks for being direct.
Aquasol DX. Thanks.
Wow. Very nice.
Let's see. Okay, so we need to find the old... Is this the old Choo-Choo? Hey.
Oh, she's so little. The floating rock back there will take you to the wonderful plaza. Aqua Paradise. Yes, it will. Sometimes it's good to get away from reality and forget the cares of the world. Yes, it is.
Let's see. Wow, there's a bunch of them over here.
So our Choo-Choo must be particularly young.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Choo-Choo is quite young.
Yep. There's a rumor, there's a secret room of the sage of Shavat sitting somewhere in this room. I wonder if it's true.
Is that all you got? Yeah, guess so.
There's a room of a secret...
Hello.
What? That's strange. You smell like soil, trees, and trees. Yes, you do. Long ago, the Choo-Choo tribe lived in the woods with no interference. Yes, they did. I wonder if someday we can never return to the land and live in the woods again.
Let's see. All right, they're doing something there. I think we need to talk to this one. Sleeping.
Honk Shoe.
Oh yeah, you can like buy things. Like he's asleep, but you can buy things from him for some reason. Wait, what? Oh, okay, yeah, Silverblood is a whip for Bart. We got other ammo, War Mail, War Helm, Ether and Anti-Ether Stone. So this is some decent stuff you can get for defensive upgrades. As a reminder, Billy's guns do not change element if you equip them with other elemental ammo. It's always going to be fire than wind for Square 1 and Square 2. So don't buy these. Don't bother. Or, you know, if you want to just spend money and equip them, you can, but they're not going to do anything. So,
is this the same issue as like with the defense stuff? It's just a coding never went through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a bit of a coding problem with that. Let's see.
Wall male and wall female. I don't know.
Let's see. This isn't a huge amount, but I'll buy a few of these. That's fine. Alright, let's equip stuff. We have so much money that it's whatever.
Thank you. Come again, will you? I'll give you a discount.
Oh, boy. Martial Rod. Dynamite Rod. Okay.
Dynamite. So, if long ago these choo-choo creatures lived in the forest, which at this point the only forest we're really familiar with is the one near
Mahan?
Yes, I wanted to say Ladanan, and I knew that wasn't right, and I wasn't sure where the word was coming from. Yes, Lahan.
Right.
That's the only like forest area we know of.
There have been a couple of forest areas, but yeah.
Right, but like that's the only one we've really gone through. I guess there was that one other one. It doesn't matter.
There's one near Nissan as well, yeah.
Right. Doesn't matter where it is, actually. But if they lived in a forest long ago, I wonder if choo-choos are native to this planet versus, say, humans, which it's been pretty heavily implied that they are not.
Yeah, I mean, that Old Man Bell says as much, so...
Right.
It's very possible that it's a native life form, yeah.
Yeah, be interesting. Forget the guardian god of legend. Nobody believes such fairy tales in this day and age. No. If a great big guardian god existed, he'd have beaten Solaris to death a long time ago. Yes, he would. Just a bunch of optimistic, happy guys. What are we to do about them?
Let's see.
Guardian god, huh?
Yeah.
The guys in Solaris passed through the Choo-Choo tribe who'd lived on this star from the beginning.
What?
What?
I believe
So
he's referring to this planet as a star.
Oh, okay. Okay, that would make sense.
Right.
So Gramps and Grandmas escaped with the people from Shiva. Yes, they did. But most of the Choo-Choos couldn't escape and were killed. Those guys ate them. Yes, they did. Who are those guys?
Those guys.
That reminds me. I'm hungry. Yes, I am. I just remembered I haven't had lunch yet.
So the way I take that is humans appearing on this planet hunted choo-choos, like ancient choo-choos or old, like depends on how long ago it was, choo-choos for food.
Yeah. Hey, you're the sage in Shavat did some research on the Choo-Choo tribe's tradition. Yes, he did. That's a lot of work. Even the old generations of the Choo-Choo tribe don't know many things about it. Because they can't remember nothing.
Oh, they already freaking... They're like all together. I can't talk to them separately. Hey, here we go.
He sounded just like really distressed.
What?
He sounded distressed. Woo,
Deal you can't
Say,
refuse.
Right. I have something really good to tell you. I could let you in on it. It's a deal you can't refuse. Do you want to know?
Sure.
I see. You want to know. Yes, you do. All right. I'll tell you about the inspirational tradition of the Choo-Choo tribe. Yes, I will.
Okay.
Long, long ago, the Choo-Choo tribe had a great big guardian god who could step over huge mountains in one step. The wondrous Mambo God. Yes, he was. The Choo-Choo tribe and the wondrous Mambo God lived happily together in perfect peace. Yes, we did. A dreamy, sweet existence. But one day, a huge red fireball rained down from the sky and blew away our guardian god as he was asleep. Blam! Kablam! Boom! But don't worry, the great big guardian god became a star in the sky. He protects the Choo-Choo tribe. Yes, he does. Yes, it's a great story. No matter how many times I listen to it, I'm so moved. Yes, I do. Be careful now. Remember, bad guys that pester the poor Choo-Choos will get punished by our guardian god. Yes, they will.
A little bit of the deep lore and mythos of the Choo-Choo tribe. Let's see.
Is now a star.
Yeah, interesting, huh? Oh, here we go. I think this is the right person.
They're so beautiful. These are wonderful things and nobody else sells. Yes, they are. But this is a very important treasure of the Choo-Choo, so I can't sell it to you.
Yeah, you can.
Sorry. Please go to the counter if you'd like to buy something. Thank you. Wait. What you have in your hand is... Oh, the mythical RPS badge! The legendary H&S badge? And the tag badge even the maniacs are crazy about? This is a complete badge set of... A gamer? I'm so amazed. It's great. Yes, it is. Want to exchange the 3 set with our treasure? It's a deal. Yes, it is. Do you want to exchange it for the Choo-Choo's treasure?
So, this is the purpose of getting all 3 of the badges. You can trade them in here for the Choo-Choo's treasure.
Let's exchange them. Here it is.
Charger A. And Power Ring S. Thanks. They're so beautiful.
These are wonderful things. Nobody, but this is a very important treasure of the Choo-Choo, so I can't. You already
sold it to me. You already sold it to me, buddy. Anyway, okay. So we've seen a Power Ring S before. So now we have 2 of them. As a reminder, let me pull this. Yeah, attack value +5. The A charger is a little more interesting though. So let's take a look at it. The A charger is right here. Charge restores 50 fuel. So normally charge will restore 30, and it goes up based on your attack level. So like at 1, I believe it goes to 60, and then at 2 to 90, and then at 3 to 120, I think. And then the A charger is going to make the base charge 50 fuel. So it would go 50, 100, 150, 200. So that's not a big enough change for me to justify equipping it, really. But it is kind of neat, right? And you might notice it's an A charger, which implies there could be other chargers. And there are much better chargers you can get for your gear that will charge a lot more fuel with the charge command. But this is the first one that's possible to get at this time. So yeah, in that vein, I'm probably not going to use either of these items. You could use the Power Ring S to like make your physical attacks on foot a little hotter. You could use the A charger if you want. If you want a little bit more fuel from your charges. There are great uses for the charger items, but this one is the lowest tier one. So if you didn't do the side quests for the badges, don't feel bad. It's not like an irreplaceable thing or anything like that. I just like doing it for the sake of doing it, honestly. And it gave you some kind of cool items.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Plus you got to watch the Choo-Choo like freak out about
the
mythical RPS badge.
I know, it's so cool. I love the even though the RPS is annoying at the beginning of the game, like I love this quest because it's absurd and you get some kind of cool stuff, but it's mainly there for like the flavor of doing the quest.
Right.
Let's see. Okay, so let's take a look. I think we can go down here. Yes, let's go down. This is the first kind of big town we've been to in a while.
It sure is.
This is a cool area. Let's see, I think I can just like walk across this. Let's see. Is it?
Yes, yes, I'm listening, dear. It reminds me of the good old days. This is the place you and I met for our first date, isn't it? I'm sorry? I recall that on that day, you dear. That day, you dear, read me a poem that you said you wrote all by yourself. Of course, I knew you didn't do that. I thought it was funny that such a romantic still exists in our day and age, but I was delighted by it. Nothing has changed here. Truly important things can't be taken away by anyone. Wow, no clarity on how that's not Faye?
Yeah, I take it as she's talking to like a long-lost lover of sorts.
Akin to like visiting a grave, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not
That
sure.
makes more sense.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. Oh, hey.
People in the city have dreamed of going down to the land again for a long time. They dreamed of the day when they could go down to the free world after fleeing from Solaris. Grand Pulse. I have a hunch the day may not be too far away.
Let's see.
This city's been wandering a sky like this for 500 years. Again with that number. Just watching the ever-changing countries, the world, those who appeared and disappeared. People in Shivat lost power, so that's all they could do. Being able to observe may have been a reward for those people here.
It's pretty funny. It is sort of similar to the. Have we come to Cocoon? Let's see.
This is an interesting question.
Let's see. It's actually okay. Okay.
Gotta figure out what the queen wants with us.
Yeah. Yeah. God, camera's weird. Oh.
After all.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
After all. Oh, it's older person. After all, pain only causes more pain and sadness. How come those guys up there don't understand such a simple thing? Just relax. Have fun fishing like that sage who disappeared.
What sage?
Do you like fishing?
Okay.
What are you fishing for? Flying fish? You know, something I appreciate about this game is that we're getting really interesting lore drops from seemingly inconsequential NPCs.
Yep. It's all over the place. It's sprinkled everywhere. So this game's really good, currently, on doing exposition in a way that is kind of just integrated into the world and not just exposition dumping at you.
Right. I know with like newer JRPGs, this is not a complaint necessarily. It's just I am less inclined to talk to everybody I meet with newer games. Because most of the time it's just gonna be like, I like being at the park. It's pretty. Okay, cool. You know, like it's inconsequential conversation.
It's flavor, right? Like
generally, right.
To put it as generously as possible, it's just kind of there for the texture.
Right, and again, no complaints. It's perfectly fine. It's just because of that, and even during this era of gaming, it's not common to encounter games where like these quote-unquote seemingly inconsequential NPCs have really deep purposeful messages to help flesh out the world. You don't have to have it to understand what's going on, but it sure as heck makes a huge difference in giving you context.
Yeah, I mean, this world just feels so alive because of their intention of taking those steps. I want to talk to this person. Let me up here. Anyway, their intention
you can't do that.
Taking those steps in particular. Hey, here we go.
The angel stood watch as the night ended. Twilight nodded off in the arms of a lost child from 500 years ago, and a sea serpent swallowed the dark. A wise Gramps taught me that a long, long time ago. Don't know what it is, though. Maybe a spell? Yeah, maybe it is.
Let me talk to you again. Okay.
I'm curious about the Choo's understanding of time, passage of time.
Indeed.
Like, are all these old choo-choos still the same ones that fled?
Right. Yeah, it's a good question. Could they be still alive from whatever time they are talking about? Could they be descendants? How long do choo-choos live? Let's see, I think...
Choo-nuff.
Are you Choo-nuff?
I am Choo-nuff. I'm just Choo.
Let's see, I think this is the... This doesn't look like a gear shop to me.
Nope, looks like a room.
It does. Let's see. There's like a bed with messed up covers. What do we got here? Ooh.
This is my old rocking horse. Oh, wait. They were killed by Solaris. I guess it was a child's room. Yeah? Safe bet. How old is that hole?
Good question.
What kind of dreams did the children in this room have for the future? We're fighting over lives, aren't we? Yeah. Usually are.
Mm-hmm.
And at times involving those that have nothing to do with this struggle.
Maria.
What are you doing in my room? Oh. There are a lot of people who don't care if they hurt others. So this is where you all were. She's quite young.
Mm-hmm.
The queen said this house was destroyed in the Great War 500 years ago. What happened?
Good question. Big war.
This house has been kept like this on purpose as a reminder of the war. About to have another one. Thank you for waiting. Please come to the palace with me. Meet Zephyr. Hey, wait. Let's go. That's all right. Shall we go to the palace now?
All right. So, yeah, this step is necessary. Okay, child's memory from long ago.
But nobody could take that away.
Interesting. Okay. So, I need to check something here. Maybe it's done. Oh, nope. Yeah, I was looking for something else in here, but that step is necessary to enable the next story beat, which we don't have to do just yet. Go.
Satan's daughter. What's her name again?
Midori.
Midori. Okay. Kept thinking her name was Maria, and I was like, nope, that's not right.
Nope. This doll has something in its hand. Dusk rock.
What is it? A dusk rock.
All right. So this is part of a little quest. This is the whole fishing thing. Fortunately for me, it's not like a lot of fishing minigames. It's pretty generic. So you could just kind of do it. But you need the Dusk Rock and the Dawn Rock. So I am going to...
So that you can make the Twilight Rock?
It could be. I think this might... Hang on. Let me go down this elevator.
The Gloam Rock, if you will.
The Gloam Rock. Yes. Now, we can get some cool stuff from all of this, so it's definitely worth doing the fishing minigame here. I'm trying to find... okay.
This door is about to be closed. Gears aren't needed in this town except the Queen's troops. But please, take a look. We no longer have much business, but all the items are our pride and joy.
Okay, so yeah, we have a gear shop here for Ellie's gear, and let's check the tune-ups. And we do have some pretty solid upgrades here. So, Yeah, so you're going to get more output out of this one, but it is a little less fuel. This is the higher fuel option, 30 output. As you can see, it's a pretty solid upgrade over what we have currently, especially with regards to fuel capacity. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the higher output one. And we can get Veltal up to 12,400 HP, which is well worth doing. And yeah, I'm running Z Alloy 3010. This is one of those scenarios, though, where it's like, wow, that is a lot more armor. So in this scenario, you could probably leave it alone if you're running like magnetic coats, or you could upgrade this. I'm going to come back to this because I'm noticing the prices a little bit here. And I would like to tune up several gears here. And with her, I'm going to do the higher fuel option. 12,000 HP for a Vierge. And yeah, we'll do that. 13,000 HP for Heimdall. Oh, okay. Interface. And yeah, let's just update everybody if we can here. So yeah, hindsight being what it is, you could, before ascending the tower, upgrade only the gears you're using and then buy these upgrades. We have quite a lot of money, but as you can tell, it's a little expensive. So that's sort of why I'm kind of sitting on the current armor here. You know, make some judicious choices here, but it is well worth it to at least upgrade the engine and frame on everyone currently.
Fair enough.
And yeah, we'll do the higher one. At least you get some like money back for your previous equipment. Yeah, I will mess with that a little bit more later, but fortunately there will be plenty of opportunity to get some more money, so we're in pretty good shape for now. Need anything, please stop by again. Try to help you as much as we can. Thank you.
Thank you, yes.
Alright, so we have located the gear shop. And make sure I'm going where I should be here. Okay.
No.
So we have found the Dusk Rock. Oh, hey, there's a guy there. Alright, and then the Dawn Rock. Oh, here it is. Dawn Rock. It's just kind of hanging out on the world map.
I know we're exploring the old capital.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder how much is there that we're not seeing. Like, does the outer ring also have living spaces?
Right. Yeah. It's a good question. We certainly haven't seen all of Shivat yet, but we've kind of been relegated to the old capital for now. But we do have permission to go see the Queen, and then, you know, there's plenty more to actually see, because
right.
I believe we were able to see FL Aura in kind of like when the shield went down, we could see it.
Mm. Are you sure we can even catch fish even without bait?
Oh, yeah.
Huh? The fish is biting. What do you want me to do? Reel it back in? Check around? Be patient?
Let's see. Choose to reel it in because the other options are stupid. All right, reel it in.
Okay, here we go. What, you don't be patient?
Nope.
What the?
I did it.
I did it. I can't believe it. Now, open your mouth and let me see it.
What does that mean?
The drachma coin. I found it. This is it.
Dark Rock.
Release the fish that was caught.
And the Dark Rock is what we were actually looking for. I believe it might be random. So yeah, we can get spider thread from that old dude that was over here. But he was saying that we already have some, which we got way earlier in the game. I believe in Lahan we got some spider thread. So Tells you how long we've been accumulating things just for, like, random stuff here, but if you happen to not get it, you can buy some for, like, 50G. It's no big deal. Alright. Now, we have the Dawn Rock, the Dusk Rock, and the Dark Rock at this point. Okay. Yeah, so now we gotta go back up, and we gotta go back to the save point area.
Curious what those rocks do.
Indeed. We are about to find out.
What them rocks do?
Just rock things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're gonna rock you?
Pretty much. Certainly plenty of places to go here. Oh, look at that. There's a person. Hello.
Oh, are you new? It's been so long since last time we had a visitor from the surface. This is a plant shell. Vegetables and fruits are needed in Shivat are grown in it. Since we live far away from the land, we must put more effort to get food. Right now, it's a dusty season, so only the staff members are allowed to go in. Humans are good carriers of germs, you know. I'll bring some fresh thunder strawberries for you to eat, so look forward to it.
Sounds interesting. Thunder strawberries.
Mm-hmm.
Very shocking flavor. Ha 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 ha. Alright.
Made with real lightning. Alright then, set those 3 stones we found into here. The stepping stones have been brought back to life. Ah.
Oh, I do. Ellie. Let me just teleport. Hold on. Okay.
Don't worry about it.
This is a cool elevator. Where are we going? We're just flying.
Grandma's house.
Do 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 do.
Where are we going? Grandma's house.
Yeah. We go under the bridge. I'd be so terrified.
Yeah. Faux show.
All the way up here. This elevator is gigantic.
Who's that guy?
All the way up here. Yeah, we'll check them out here in a second.
A little delightful little person.
All right.
Excuse me, sir. Are you a lighthouse keeper?
Let's poke around here.
I don't care how it all began, nor do I care what happens in the end. I just live with Choo-Choo and die with Choo-Choo. To hell with humans. They're liars, greedy, selfish. Choo-Choo is life.
Choo-Choo is love. Choo-Choo is life.
That's right. I'm going away. I've had enough of it.
Okay.
It's like that old man who dresses the Hamachows.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's of Arcadia. This person will dress as a Choo-Choo.
Power Crisis. And a bunch of other things.
Wowzers.
Yeah, so this is why you want to do this quest and come up here, because you get a ton of stuff. I think actually I need to accidentally receive Choo-Choo Idol. Thank you.
Guy comes busting in. Alright, that's my doll. A Choo-Choo idol? Is this a representation of Choo-Choo's guardian god? You think this is what Choo-Choo rides when it grows so she can fight?
Mm-hmm. Weird.
Let's not imagine things. It's not good for your heart.
Okay, yeah, we read all that. Go away. Go away. Hell with humans, go away. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, go away. Alright, so... yeah, we grab stuff from here. I don't think there's anything else in here. Okay, yeah, it's freaking... no, go away. Alright, so... let me check inventory here real quick. By closing the menu, because I'm silly. Okay, so there were a bunch of drive items. Okay, yeah, Ether Defense Drive. There were also a couple of accessories we got. Cob meat, all sorts of things. Strength Drive. So, a bunch of drive items. I believe one for each. So there's Vit Drive, Strength Drive, HP, EP, Ether Defense. So like one of each. A Fizzimensol, Panofasol, a Samson's hair, I think is an item, if I remember right. Yeah, there it is. Weapon power up. And I think, oh yeah, a hob steak as well. And then the rest of them are accessories, so let's take a look. So we're just going to poke around here. A lot of them should be at the bottom. Yamato belt, max HP 25% up. So that one's kind of cool. Power Crisis is your hyper mode item. As HP goes down, attack goes up. This will be useful. You don't want to use it all the time, but it's useful for grinding. Kind of a handy thing, especially if you want to just kind of destroy everyone without even really needing to use death blows, or if you're learning death blows and you're fighting enemies that are kind of hard, you could just kind of use the Power Crisis and stuff like that. Or if you just want to run around in hyper mode and destroy everyone, handy little accessory. But you gotta
destroy everyone.
I'm almost dead, but I will destroy you. And yeah, the Choo idol. Can't see it at the moment. But we have it, so you know that's cool.
Is it not a key item or something?
It is not a key item. I don't think. No, I'm pretty sure the Choo item is an accessory, but I cannot access it. I'll double check it, but we definitely got it, so we're done here.
Okay. You want to go up? Yes.
We
yes,
must.
you do.
We must go back.
Let's go back.
So the drive items, I do have a bit of a plan for those. I know kind of in our Skies of Arcadia... God, I'm running fast. In our Skies of Arcadia video, we used those kind of when we got them. I haven't been doing that, and I do have a reason for that, but I'll explain later. But you can use them. It is not a big deal. Oh, hey.
Hello and welcome. As you can see, the Deep Sea Bros is open. It's just that we aren't doing any business right now.
Are you sure you know what open means? I think this is like a bar, something like that.
Yeah. Lots of birds. Insert 20G.
I'm not. This is my money. Get away from me, jukebox. You can't buy me, jukebox.
Besides, Big Joe will probably come break you anyway.
Run off with a bunch of money. Big Joe. Oh, I know what it is. The frame rate's weird here.
Hello, gentleman, lady, person. Why do humans hate and hurt each other? Everyone lives under the same blue sky. Will there ever be any relief from the pain of losing that is precious to us? When will it be the day when we can... When will it be the day we can understand what all this loneliness and sorrow is for? In short, we may be repeating the same mistakes we made 500 years ago.
500 years ago. 500 years ago. 500 years... What happened?
I wonder if it was 500 years ago.
It might have been. It sounds right. I've heard that somewhere before. I fell off.
I think... I disagree.
I disagree. Yeah. Oh, get me out of here. Okay. Yes. Okay. So, yep. Hello.
This is the end of the city. If you're not leaving yet, you better turn back.
He just stands there all day letting people know that.
I'm a Walmart greeter.
Thanks, buddy. All right. So we'll go ahead and pop into the palace here.
Is Queen Zephyr actually a priestess of Shivat?
Queen Zephyr. Oh, hey, it's Maria.
Queen Priestess Zephyr.
What's going on?
I say, hey, this way, please.
But I want to go to the save point.
Too bad.
Not allowed. Yeah, I'll follow you in a minute. Okay, so yeah, we can poke around here for a sec. I think save points over here, maybe. Maybe down here. Let me look. But yeah, now we're seeing other parts of the the palace area. There's a bunch of things.
Oh, you are? I feel like I met you before. Invisible Khan, the one who taught us the art of fighting.
Khan, you say?
Nobody knows his whereabouts after he went down to the surface on the Queen's mission. I doubt something bad happened to him considering his skills, but I wonder where he is. Well, you know.
He had some problems. He's to Zephyr. Okay.
So I noticed that there are some characters here who seem to have the same little uniform as Ov.
Wait, what?
Officers. There are some people like NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
It will. Yeah, like if you go out here and head down the stairs.
Yep.
Like that person, right? It's very similar to the Ov, or somebody who had an outfit like that.
Yeah.
Maybe in the what was that desert town name?
Whatever you do, it all goes back to food. You got that? Food! Dazil was the desert
Dazil.
town.
There's a lot of people in Dazil who had the same outfit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's unforgivable. I think it is kind of a generic soldier outfit, but yeah. Yeah, and it definitely looks kind of like an Ov soldier. There were a lot of those kind of hanging out in the palace when we were sneaking around, you know.
Right, and I just wondered if maybe there are refugees in Shivat.
Yeah, it does not... It's possible. But Shivat does not have a... I already went in here. It does not have a... they do not have a lot of contact with the surface that we know of. But it very well could be. I mean, we did encounter a Shivat soldier on the surface, which is sort of how we got the information to even get up here. Gotta be the store. Stay on the right. I don't mention there's 85 other doors. Alright, let's grab this. It has been a while since I've wandered around the Shivat Palace.
Same.
Alright, I think we are ready to meet the Queen at this point. That'll be cool.
As in ever. Let's meet the Queen!
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So there are plenty of people to talk to here. There's a choo-choo here and stuff. We talked to the person of interest for me. But there's some other things here that we can kind of poke around with. But let's go ahead and just talk to the Queen first here. Oh, hey.
Hi, Wiseman. You're finally here. Where have you been?
Falling down Babel Tower repeatedly.
Why are you here? Because I'm actually your father, Faye. I've told you before. I've learned martial arts with your father in Shivat. The Queen is waiting. Go ahead. He's got some Yamato energy.
Kinda does.
Please come in.
Thanks, Maria.
Cool glass area.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, priestess. I mean, your majesty.
She's pretty cool. I like Queen Zephyr.
Man, what's with all these children?
She's not a child.
I know. She looks very young.
Yes, she has a young-looking face. That's true.
Yes. I didn't think she was actually a child. Thank you for coming such a long way. I am the Queen of Shivat, Zephyr. Your Majesty, you're the... I may appear to be like this, but I'm actually 522 years old. Yeah, of course. Of course you are.
Someone from the time that we keep hearing about, which is...
Yeah, I actually half expected her to say something like she's 1,000 years old.
I have 100 questions for you. Let's start right away, Queen Zephyr.
Can I pull out a list? I've made notes. 522? Is that even possible? I mean, Faye, theoretically, you're 4,000 years old, so, you know.
You pull out this paper and it goes all across the ground. Like, all right, let's start at the top here.
yeah. Well, it was Aladdin, where he pulls it like scroll out of Aladdin's ear. Genie does.
Yeah,
you know, and
it's gigantic.
3 mile long. Yeah, it's.
Yep.
The scroll just fills up the entire like observation glass beneath them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I and a select few of the vassals have undergone some special life-extending treatments.
Vassals, huh?
Mm-hmm.
We were required to continue living until the final day approaches because of one man. To continue living, this is our atonement for that tragedy 500 years ago. Let us discontinue this discussion of the past.
No. I have a lot of questions. Zephyr.
No.
Explain things. I want history.
In fact, since you guys like to use German so much, 99999.
Right. Explanations are coming. Just so you know.
I've heard many things about all of you from Wiseman. Wiseman's been conducting his operations on the surface under my orders. To keep an eye on that man's activities.
Keep an eye on Groff?
Someone's.
Also, he has ordered to bring anyone from the surface who would be of help to us to Shavat. 500 years ago, we fought against Solaris for the freedom of the land dwellers.
Yeah, so the war 500 years ago was Shavat versus Solaris.
Yeah.
We're starting to get a little bit more info about it.
Even after that, we continue to resist Solaris, although we are short of any real power.
Guess what?
Land dwellers, can you find it in your heart to help us? We must free mankind from the grasps of Solaris. We must gain true freedom and build a peaceful world to live in.
I see. You're quite right. But there's no guarantee that you aren't the same as Solaris, right? Even if Solaris were to be defeated, the people of the surface may just as well encounter a new dominator.
However, I tell no lie when I say we are doing this purely for the future of the land dwellers. If you still cannot believe us, then defeat Solaris, gain back the independence of the land dwellers. And then see if we still embrace the heavens together.
Embrace the heavens.
Fair enough.
You do all the work and see how we do.
It should do some good if you rest in the palace and think about it. You must think about what you ought to do. But remember, Solaris has been quite active lately, so we don't have much time for leisure. As for you, Ellie, your family and friends, you must understand that they will all have to be your enemies. Without this clear understanding, you may be placing your companions in a situation where it may cost them their lives. Yes, I understand. Very well then. Now go and get some rest.
Recognize the uniform. Some rest. Cool. We started to get a little information from the Queen here.
It was all because of this war, but I don't want to talk about it.
Great.
Faye, go with Shavat. Your father Khan would have wanted you to.
Thanks, wise man. Okay. Yep. Ding, 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 ding. Who are you?
Why, I'm the old lady who lives down the road.
Right down the road.
Right down the road. Welcome to Shavat. I've already heard that you are our guests. Please use this room as you please. You are welcome to use the bed to rest.
Just what she told us to do.
You also have a save point?
We do have a save point right here.
So you're the newcomers. Seems you aren't like the usual land dwellers we get. But we're always happy to have more friends to fight against Solaris. I look forward to working with you.
Of course.
Of course.
We seemingly have new allies now.
To protect Shavat from the outside, the ancient technology of the gate is used. It's fundamentally the same thing as the stuff Solaris has planted on the surface. Even with Solaris technology, the gate cannot be broken through. But at times I come to think about whether this gate is the only for protecting us from Solaris. Maybe that man left this gate behind to separate us, to isolate us from the rest of the world. If that was his intention, then Krelian is indeed dreadful. Does that man's resentment run that deep? Is Krelian Shavat? Shavatian?
Shavatian. So, he's strongly implying that Krelian left them the gate technology, which is interesting. It is unclear, because Krelian is sort of all over the place at the moment. We've had like one scene with him, but he's caused a bunch of things. So,
Right.
it is not clear at this time where Krelian's allegiances lie, although he is in command of a ship that involves a bunch of things. So,
Right. Well, Krelian holds the true power in Solaris, is what I'm saying. The irony of fate. Once that man fought alongside Ronnie Fatima, Queen Zephyr, and Lacan against Solaris. Hold the phone. Hold the phone.
So we have several name drops here. Roni Fatima, the last name should be very familiar. Bartholomew Fatima is one of our party members. And Lacan is a name we have seen before.
Right. That was an echo of a name in Faye's mind, I believe.
Right. So, as a reminder, this was when we were in Nissan. We looked at the painting, got a weird flashback of what looked like Faye painting Ellie.
Right.
And then we saw the name Lacan.
Lacan.
Let's see if anybody else has some interesting things to say. We have got a little bit of an opportunity here to grab some more stuff. Let's see.
Long ago, humans were with God in a paradise in the sky called Mahanan. The place was protected by the power of God. Humans were never exposed to the fear of danger or death. However, one day, humans entered God's forbidden garden and ate a fruit which bestowed upon them a tremendous intelligence and power. God found out about the incident, and the humans were banished from the paradise. The prosperous times were over, an era of sorrow and hatred began. Okay, we've been told this story before.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first part of the legend of Genesis that was passed on from long ago. They say a legend such as this contains some truth to it.
Yeah, these appear to be scholars of some sort.
Humans banished from paradise were foolish enough to revolt against God. In order to resist the power of God, they've created 12 anima relics and called themselves gods.
So we got a little bit more about the anima relics. There are 12 of them.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That feels similar to, especially if it's leaning into the Christianity stories. The 12 anima relics feel a little bit like the 12 tribes of Israel.
12 tribes, yeah. The number 12 is pretty significant when it comes to religious texts, specifically Western. 12 apostles, 12 tribes of Israel, yes.
Right. For 10 days, 10 nights, the world shed its blood. Mahanan was enveloped in flames, or enveloped.
Enveloped, yep.
It's spelled the same way. But human strength was no match for God, and the arrogant humans were destroyed by God's anger. Only a few righteous men were left on the land. Rained blood.
Mm-hmm.
However, God was also tired and wounded. He decided to rest in the deepest depths of the earth. What does that mean?
Great question.
God's rest was long, but eternity is only a moment to God. Okay, that's another reference, actually, because Krelian said something similar.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, the righteous men who didn't revolt against God had to live in the harsh nature by themselves, being in constant fear of death. Legend also says the following: when the righteous men's children are born again, God will awaken from his long rest and give a helping hand to them. If the legend is true, what will the awakening God bring to the people? What kind of existence is God? So this is a wild, just throwing it out there dart.
Sure.
And to be perfectly clear, it's not that I believe this.
Right.
But there are elements that make me ask the question, is Faye God?
What elements are those?
Well, we talk about God will awaken.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And there is a huge indication that Faye has memories from a long time.
True.
Very long time, if we include Zeboam.
Sure.
And Ellie is the same way. So, like, but they could be two pieces of one whole, right? Like maybe Faye and Ellie together create God.
Two pieces of one whole. That's good.
Yeah.
Hold on to that.
Yeah. So anyway,
there's a
all
lot
that
of
to say
imagery
is-
that implies that as well in this game. The two pieces, one whole type thing.
Right. It's the animus
Yes.
concept,
That
the two
idea.
angels in Nissan, like it's all over the place.
Yep. Picking up on the theming there. Yeah.
Right. So again, this is like a wild dart that's just going to fly into the air with no expectation of it hitting anything.
Sure.
But if Ellie and Faye are awakening, then this, and again, God is a loose term here, but
Sure.
I wonder if they're the God that they're expecting or waiting for.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, they are at the very least involved with whatever. There's a sense of anticipation from a lot of people that something is coming.
Sure.
There's like
Yeah.
eschatology logical. Anyway, there's a bit of a
logical.
yeah. There's a bit of a end of the world frenzy is what I'm getting at, very badly by
for sure.
mispronouncing things horribly.
Winter is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to mention, the term Mahanan was just used. Mahanan is a misspelling of Machanan, which is a reference to the fourth heaven. So that's from the book of Enoch, I believe, and it's supposedly where the Garden of Eden is housed. So they are also referring to, the fruit and the expulsion from paradise and all of that.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, Mahanan would be pretty similar to Eden, specifically.
Yeah. Real strong implications of, or real strong analogies of what is considered part of the creation story in Christian literature.
I do find it also very interesting that it came from Enoch, which would be more of a Gnostic text. Gnosticism plays a very big role in this game. We haven't talked about it a huge amount, except for, I believe, when we were going through that cave with Calamity and Old Man Bal in it.
Right.
But that will become more and more of a topic of conversation going forward. So look forward to that. Very,
Woohoo.
very interesting stuff.
Ooh-wee.
Mm-hmm.
It is not known much of the Genesis legend is true. Not known how much. However, the anima relics made through God's wisdom do exist. Solaris's Gazel ministry is desperate to find anima relic and Mahanan, a place known to be God's resting place. If Solaris attains that power, no one will be able to stop them. What will happen to the world then?
Very good question. So, yeah, the Gazel Ministry, or the Elders, we've seen them in Sol 9000, they've mentioned the Anima Relics and the Animus a couple of times. So, we're getting a little bit of a connection being drawn here, which is pretty cool.
Right.
Anybody in here? Let's see.
Balthasar brought Maria to Shivat about 5 years ago, along with Sibzin.
Sibzin, yeah.
I'll get there eventually. Balthasar said that he sneaked into Solaris by himself and tried to save Dr. Nicole and Maria. Nicola and Maria.
Dr. Nicola, yep.
He laughed as he told me that he managed to escape with Maria and take that Sibson as a souvenir. Maria's father, Dr. Nikolai, was captured by Solaris, and nothing has been heard from him since. In any case, I'm sure he's being forced to do research on gears.
If they develop Sipson further into a new gear weapon and start mass producing them, well, to say the least, it would be more than we could ever handle.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to break it to you.
Oxen? Anybody know about oxen? Uh-oh.
Ollie oxen free.
Yeah, so it's only being like implied here, but Sibzine is a pretty enormously powerful gear. It's sort of the reverse of the typical trope where a boss is much harder. Now, Sibzine does actually have moves, despite, I used air odds and one-shotted it, but yeah, it is actually a pretty decent fight if you don't completely annihilate it, but it's a pretty strong gear, too. Just lore-wise, it's a very strong gear, so pretty cool.
Yeah. I see. So you're the son of Khan. Have you met Queen Zephyr yet? She still can't forget about the tragedy in Nasan during the Great War 500 years ago, even though it's not her fault. I assume she can't forgive herself for betraying and abandoning her fellow members, though she had no knowledge of what was going on. Oh, I may have said too much. I'm not supposed to know anything. Anyhow, keep up the good work at overthrowing Solaris, young man.
Yeah, so now that we're here and, being asked to ally with Shivat's cause, that's directly in opposition to Solaris, overthrowing Solaris and all of that, which, sounds like a good goal to me. They're kind of jerks at everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we already talked to this person. Yeah, we are much better than other land dwellers. I'm not like other land... Anyway, let's head over here. We'll just poke a couple of people over here. Hello.
Long ago, I heard that a long choo-choo was taken from the town by wise men. I haven't heard what happened after that. I hope that choo-choo is doing well.
Choo-choo? He has a weird face. Oh, okay, he turned it. Looks better.
This is the library where many books are gathered. This place is packed with many ancient books that you could not find on the surface. If you're a book fanatic, you're a drool over books, like our first run prints, limited books, autographs, books, banned books, and mountains of hard to find books, and more mountains and mountains of books. Become a true bibliophile. It's too much.
Books, so many books.
Well, setting that aside, if there's more books, something you want to know about from the past, it'd be good to go in and talk to the librarians. They'll give you more books.
That's right.
Don't worry. It's their job anyway. Tell the new people from the surface about the past.
All right.
Using the books.
Yeah, but books. Have you heard of books? Books are great.
Yeah. He just kept saying it. I figured I'd help him out.
More books. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, so there's a decent amount of lore here. So this is why I'm kind of laboring to talk to people. The most important person to talk to. Pet the kitty. Okay.
Yep. Gotta have a cute kitty.
Ah, yes.
After the war and collapse of the
Diabolos, yep.
Similar to the land dwellers, the heavily beaten Solaris forces began to pull back and return to their home country, taking along with them vast numbers of land dwellers as slaves.
Diabolos.
We couldn't stop them. The only way for the war-torn land dwellers to survive was to depend on Solaris. After the brief moment of hope, Solaris once again began to reign over our lives. A cold and harsh era has begun. 500 years have passed, and the reign still continues. No one knows how long this is going to last.
Diabolos. I've been waiting for that term.
Diabolos. We were surviving through the Great War 500 years ago, and the Diabolos collapsed. We and the rest of our comrades secluded ourselves on Shavat. At the time, Shavat was being constructed at the tip of Babel Tower. But we were able to escape to the sky before Solaris once again ascended to power over the land.
So yeah, Shavat was constructed at the tip of Babel Tower, implying Babel Tower predates Shavat.
Well, it looks like they made it out of the tower, too.
Exactly.
Since then, we've been wandering the skies while overlooking the activities of the land below. Sounds an awful lot like the legends from the Ethos.
It sort of does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
They made God angry, and God struck back. They flew into the sky out of fear.
Mm-hmm. Interesting how the religious metaphor is used by the ethos to describe things in,
Yeah.
those sorts of terms.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are probably already aware of this. But this Shavat is protected by a special gate made possible by an ancient technology. Even Solaris cannot break this barrier. Because of that, we are able to avoid being invaded to this day. But even with that, we don't have power to attack Solaris either. It's a stalemate, basically. We've just been glaring at each other. Not for long.
Menacing glares. Hello.
At one point, Solaris and its Gazel ministry made up of 12 elders. Dominated the world with more military might than they have presently. The people on the land were treated like slaves, still are. If any of them resisted, they were quickly and mercilessly dealt with. They treated the people as if they weren't living beings. Eventually, people on the surface began to rebel from all parts and ultimately led to the Solaris-Shavat War of 500 years ago.
Get that lore.
The Great War was founded between Solaris and Shavat 500 years ago. It was a heroic battle with the freedom and independence of the land dwellers at stake. The rebel army, which centered around Shavat, was successful at attacking the inner citadel of Solaris, but only with tremendous sacrifices. However, before we almost made it, the unthinkable happened. A new enemy appeared that even Solaris had not anticipated. Id. That was when the nightmare began. The nightmare never seen before. A nightmare that we pray would never have to be seen again.
What nightmare is that? I think that's all he has to say. Yeah.
A great war unfolded between...
Shut up. Okay. Hello.
Diabolos. The sudden appearance of the mysterious army put a full stop to the battle between the humans 500 years ago. Those angels of death, utterly unrivaled, with no fear of mercy. Their only intention was to eradicate all life on this planet. Even Solaris' proudest gear battalions were mere flies to them. Nothing stopped them as they indiscriminately slaughtered and trampled upon countless lives. At that time, people were certain that the end of the world was approaching. Dominated by feelings of constant fear and hopelessness, it was a dreadful life. The reason mankind was able to break it through and survive sudden death 500 years ago was because the power of these giants created through God's wisdom. Rani, Fatima, and the other young fighters piloted these giants and destroyed the heart of Diabolos. Seeing an opportunity to counteract mankind, desperately stood up against Diabolos and successfully annihilated them. Rani, Fatima, Queen Zephyr, and the result of the young ones put their lives on the line and won back. The future for this world it was giants which fought long ago to save us, an existence which surpasses all other gears. They are the legendary Omnigears.
Okay.
Okay.
So I said I was going to explain this. Well, I don't know if I said it, but I intended to explain this. So Omnigears are very interesting. The term is actually a translation of Gear Bara, which I believe is a reference to basically it's a god gear, which is what Bart called it. But this is plural, Omnigears. In addition, I believe it was localized as Omnigear as a reference to, omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. So it's meant to imply these are gears with the power of God.
Right.
One of them is the treasure of the Alvaro family. So there's 12 of them then. These are the anima relics.
There are 12 anima relics, yes. And then, yeah, there are these giants that are Omnigears, yes.
Okay. One of them is the off-royal family. Yep. Oh, wait. Yes, because we talked about the Jasper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
there's the Fatima Jasper. And, yeah, there's the treasure of the Avril family. If you recall, Bart had a scroll that we were able to look at that had a weird giant-looking thing on it.
Yeah.
Oops. So, could that be an Omnigear?
We'll find out.
Let's see. Did we already get through? Hold on. Let me make sure it doesn't look... Which is currently resting somewhere. Okay. Yep.
One the constant witness. Yep. But I can't guarantee that.
Okay. Did I talk to this person? Let me check here. Maps of Diablo, similar to land dwellers, heavily... Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's just describing...
So let's talk to everybody in here.
Yeah, these people up here, not yet, I don't think. Diablo's collapse. And the rest... Yeah, we talked to this person. I'm a fool. Okay, how about you?
You fool?
Okay, yeah, that's... We also... Wait. You sure about that? Hang on. Looks like this was... Alright. Separated.
I feel like we...
Erased all memory of their existence from the surface dwellers.
Oh, interesting.
Surface dwellers are still not aware that they've been secretly dominated by Solaris all along. Be born into a false reality, to grow up in it, and to die in it without ever approaching the truth. That is the life of a surface dweller.
That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure to get everybody in here, because they all kind of have pieces of lore. This is a pretty... cool room if you want to just run through it and just kind of think about what's gone on. Let me see if there's... Okay, we got stairs here. Okay. I don't think there's much else. I think the library is kind of the biggest deal here. Okay. But yeah, what we may want to do is go ahead and call it. We have gotten some good information here. So I'll keep going around this, and then we'll get back to the Queen with our answer next time.
Yeah.
So I think we're pretty solidly in kind of the 2-hour area here. So, but yeah, there is more to come. We've learned quite a lot already just from getting to Shivat and talking with some people here. We have learned about multiple... well, this is the second mention of Lacan. We learned about Rani Fatima, which, you know, that name's pretty important. And right. Queen Zephyr has begun to explain, you know, she's been around a while. She was there 500 years ago during the Solaris-Shivat War. And we learned about Diabolos, which is, you know, a force that's basically part of the catastrophe that happened 500 years ago. So it wasn't just a war. There was also other craziness going on.
Right.
Which we'll have to learn more about.
Yeah, for sure. It seems kind of like... Wow, I just lost my train of thought. I'll figure it out later.
Fair enough.
I'm very tired.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. The other thing I did want to mention is we learned about Omnigears. We learned there are more than one of them, so the whole God Gear thing. So that's pretty cool, and we learned that there is at least one of them that we have been talking about since the beginning, which is pretty cool, really.
Yeah, for sure.
But all right, we will go ahead and wrap it up, and we'll continue next time in Shivat here. We have plenty more to do. We'll probably walk around, talk with a few more people, and we'll get back to Queen Zephyr, and we'll keep it going here. Very excited for the upcoming developments.
Yeah, we finally made it to Shivat. That's awesome. In the meantime, if you've been enjoying what you see, please hit all the buttons. It helps us. Leave comments. Let us know what you're thinking. As always, please do not reveal anything beyond what you've seen up to this point. Because Austin, myself, has not actually seen this game, so I'm experiencing this for the first time. And so you're getting live reactions, well, as live as they can be in recordings, to somebody who has never played this game before. So that being said, we do appreciate all your feedback and comments and thoughts. We will happily engage with you on those sides.
Yeah.
And again, if you like what you've been seeing, check out our stuff too. We've got Skies of Arcadia that's been completed. We've got Unpacking that's been completed. We've got Coffee Talk going on right now. We've got Wind Waker going on right now. So please take a look at all those things. I'm sure you'll have a blast. I know we do. And more importantly, we just like having you here, hanging out with us, exploring and puzzling your puzzler. You know, all that good stuff. So again, thank you for being here. We hope you have a wonderful day.
Yep.
And we'll see you all in the next video.
See you next time, everyone. And on a personal note, I just want to say I'm really enjoying the lore comments. Keep them coming, as Austin said. Try to keep it to this portion of the game. But yeah, we love your engagement. And hope you're enjoying it. Have a good one, everybody. See you next time.
Bye now.
Diddly diddly do 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 do. Thanks for watching.